Live Stews experience. This right here, this ain't your ordinary ish.
Two Live Stews experience. Ryan Stewart, Doug Stewart. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yes, we are back. What up to the Qs?
Do not let anyone confuse you. The Two Live Stews started this shit. The Two Live Stews experience, shouty. If you're not stewing, what the hell are you doing?
And yet, I'm still not willing to say he is absolutely elite. Like, he played a really good game. Because of the impact and the attention that Saquon Barkley demands, this is what you get. This is what you're afforded. This is what it's going to look like for Jalen Hurts moving forward when you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and you have this great offensive line and this awesome running back, one of the best in the games. He was clearly the best this year. This is what you're going to get. And so the expectation is, if it's going to look like this for you, if the window and the picture is going to be this clear, you got to be able to make these throws. He did that. The reason why I'm not willing to say he is across the board elite is simply because when I see quarterbacks that I deem to be elite, they do it in a fashion of which I carry the team. It's not about what the identity of the team is, even with the identity of great teams that run the ball really well. If the quarterback is that guy, we still talk about him in the fashion of what they do in the passing game and even in the running game.
This nigga. Hey, welcome to the show, man. Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart. Two Live Stews, not one, but two Live Stews. The other stew, though, is not here today. So I'm steering this ship all by myself. Welcome. I'm going to talk about that clip here in a second. And this is why you need the Two Live Stews. This is why. The video you just saw is why you need the Two Live Stews. Hey, welcome to the show. Good morning, everybody tuning in right now. Wherever you may be, you might be watching this on a replay. This is the world-famous Two Live Stews, Doug Stewart and Ryan Stewart. What you just saw was a clip of former Green Bay Packer wide receiver Greg Jennings just shitting on Jalen Hurts. I mean, I don't even know else how to say it. Like, I almost want to run it over so that y'all can get it. Y'all can let it sink in again. This man just won the Super Bowl. This man just won the Super Bowl, and a fellow brother, I mean, there's no other more succinct way to put it. A fellow brother literally slams him. And this guy's on national TV. That video you saw, I think Greg Jennings appears on Fox. Can I get a thumbs up, Nadi? Is he on Fox or what network is he on doing his show or whatever? He's on primetime TV. Yeah, Fox. I'm getting a thumbs up from Fox. And the man just went through all of these, I don't know, mysterious, magical reasons on why a guy that is in his second Super Bowl in 5 years in the league with a different coordinator every single year is not elite. And listen, I've said this before, and you're watching the Two Live Stews experience, Doug Stewart, would you? I've mentioned this many, many times. Like, a lot of times in these situations, and we're talking about black quarterbacks, and we're talking about the plight of the black quarterback, we're talking about the history and how they've been treated and how they've always been viewed as second-class citizens. I've had this big debate with this guy or a couple of people online over the last week about the term dual threat. That term dual threat, and I got to remember what my original point was, that term dual threat, that was really under the, a kind of under the table type jab. That's what it was. It It was something to signify that you weren't like these traditional quarterbacks, that term, dual threat. So factoring all of that in, whenever the national media is talking about black quarterbacks, and if it's something not positive and it may be true, I just won't say anything at all. Because we've got enough people in mainstream media. If Arlie were here, she'd do this. we got enough people in mainstream media that slam black quarterbacks instinctively. So why would we do that? You get my point? Why would we do that? 90% of the media is, if Arlie were here once again, they run it, so they're going to have the biggest microphone. So why would I add on to that hate? So Greg Jennings is talking about all of these things that oh, Lord have mercy. Step back for a second, Dougie. Greg Jennings goes ahead and mentions how Jalen Hurts has all of these things, and he's got Saquon Barkley, and I don't consider him elite, ignoring the fact that he's been to 2 Super Bowls in 5 years. But then he goes on to say, well, he's got this guy, he's got Saquon Barkley. Yeah, so just off the top of my head, Troy Aikman had Michael Irvin, the playmaker. The man was so good, we call him the playmaker. Troy Aikman had the playmaker, Michael Irvin. He had what a lot of y'all tell me is the greatest running back in all time, Emmitt Smith, right there. Huh? We go all the way back to the 70s. We can go all the way back to the Steelers. Terry Bradshaw had Franco Harris. He had Lynn Swann, and he had another guy that a lot of people say was better than Lynn Swann, who y'all say is one of the greatest wide receivers ever. He had John Stallworth. I could go on and on and on and on. Nigga, why would you fix your mouth to say some shit like that a couple of days after this man win the Super Bowl? Hey, Nadi, can you run it one more time? I know.
Yet I'm still not willing to say he is absolutely elite. Like, he played a really good game. Because of the impact and the attention that Saquon Barkley demands, this is what you get. This is what you're afforded. This is what it's going to look like for Jalen Hurts moving forward when you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and you have this great offensive line and this awesome running back, one of the best in the games. He was clearly the best this year. This is what you're going to get. And so the expectation is, if it's going to look like this for you, if the window and the picture is going to be this clear, you got to be able to make these throws. He did that. The reason why I'm not willing to say he is across the board elite is simply because when I see quarterbacks that I deem to be elite, they do it in a fashion of which I carry the team. It's not about what the identity of the team is, even with the identity of great teams that run the ball really well. If the quarterback is that guy, we still talk about him in the fashion of what they do in the passing game and even in the running game.
So a lot of times I really believe, and you see my man FM says, good morning, why Doug's pressure up so early? And you're 100% right, sir. Why is my pressure up so early? A lot of times, man, and I'm going to shoot you 100% straight. Y'all know our story. Y'all know that we've been, in many regards, the highest point or at the highest point in this industry. 6 years, continual run, like we play in basketball, 6 years, continuous run on ESPN every other week for 6 years. 12 years on radio, voted the number one. I got to remind people sometimes, this ain't bragging, but it's pertinent to what I'm about to say. Voted Sports Illustrated Sports Talk Show of the Year. I had a 6 or 7 page layout. And knowing what I know about the industry, a lot of times I feel like guys like that, like Greg Jennings and what he said about Jalen Hurts, they want to fill that role that a lot of these networks are trying to fill. They're trying to fill that role of the ninja that will slam other ninjas. I swear to you. I swear to you. Because I believe that most black people in journalism, sports talk journalism, whatever kind of journalism you want to know or you want to discuss, feel the way that I feel. Like, why would we take the time to, and not only just take the time to say something as scandalous and as silly and as ignorant as what Greg Jennings said, and I didn't even mean to take up this whole first segment talking about this, but it just bothers me so much. Not only do they not believe what they're saying, but I think that it's nefarious. I think that it's because they're purposely, like the Jason Whitlock guy, I think that they're purposely doing it to get that spot where networks and producers say, hey, we need a ninja in this spot, but we need him to kind of say what we need him to say or want him to say or what our general public or the majority of our public, once again, which is 90%, we need one of them that's going to say this. Okay? Because to say that this man, Jalen Hurts, 2 Super Bowls in 5 years, comes from a great family. His daddy was a coach. The dude, I read something the other day, the dude just got a master's degree in 3 years. The dude squats 600 pounds. The dude squats 600 pounds. He's got an entire work staff of women. I'm sure y'all have seen that story before. The guy is one of the most cool and calm people. Have y'all ever seen Jalen Hurts like get excited? It's almost creepy. It's almost Tony Dungy like. Like, I've never seen this guy get excited like I've done the last 10 minutes. I've never seen him get too high, and I've never seen him get too low. Think about it. This dude got pulled in the national championship game where he had been the quarterback. He took them to that point in the season, to this national championship game, and they benched him. They brought in Tua. It was a good move for that time, but this guy, that probably affected his draft status. He got drafted lower than you would have expected him based on what he had done in his career in college. So this guy has beat and defied all adversity. And for Greg Jennings, another brother, to say that type of shit in front of a microphone is very disappointing. It's very disappointing. Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart, the 2 Live Stews. What are your thoughts? So we got a lot to do today. Ryan's not here, but we got a lot to do. I'm losing my voice a little bit. I wonder if it's because of this, my pressure being up and me screaming this early in the morning. Oh, I know what it was. I know why my voice is kind of weak. So I actually had a little dinner meeting yesterday afternoon. I had a couple cocktails. And so I had a couple cocktails and didn't go to sleep till late last night and all of that. But we got a lot coming up. Nadi's Funky Four, the 4 biggest stories in sports that I missed, that we as a team, me and Ryan would have missed. We've got Arlie's report. Arlie's back. Real rough couple of weeks for Arlie. She'll talk a little bit about that. And we've got the top 5 results, maybe. Now, if you're new to the show, what me and Ryan do is we do a top 5. My brother Ryan Stewart, we do a top 5. It's kind of like an online competition, an online sporting event where we go back and forth with each other, and we have this competition of a category, and we pick the top 5 in that category. And the listeners, people in the 2 Live Stews Facebook chat group, which have like 40,000 people, but we get a couple of hundred to vote. They pick whose list is better. Okay. And so the last list that we did, and it's tied and pertinent to something going on in sports, entertainment, or beyond. We did the top 5 Super Bowl halftime shows in honor of this big talking point of Kendrick Lamar and what he did at the Super Bowl, which I've got some new thoughts on that as well. So we'll get into that later as well. So we got a lot coming. Oh, and I got time today. That's one of those new sayings. I got time today. Okay. I got time today to read all of the phenomenal chat in the chat room. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and being a part of the show. And a lot of times we just use this place to vent. I use it to vent because there's a lot going on and I want to get it out. We're going to talk at some point about this whole, I had the news on this morning and they were talking about it. Do y'all realize that Donald Trump has been in office for just 23 days? The man has been in office for 23 days. It might be 24 today or whatever. The man has been in office for 24 days. And it's very arguable on who's actually making the decisions and running the country. Is it Trump or is it Elon Musk, who hadn't been through campaign or election the first? Elon Musk in the White House, and I think I'm going to save that for later. But it's a lot going on in the world right now. My grandmother used to say it all the time, you better get right with God. Just any arbitrary reason, she just used to say, you better get right with God. As in, the rapture is about to happen next week or tomorrow. Well, Mama, you said that like twice in the last 2 weeks, I'm sure. And she just repeated again, you better get right with God. And it was God, G-A-W-D. God. You better get right with God because Donald Trump is a freaking train wreck. And some of y'all watching right now voted for this Mickey Ficky. Some of y'all watching right now, you voted for him. We 23 days in. This maniac, insane maniac fool. I think we got a video that we want to play kind of demonstrating what I'm talking about this Trump and Elon Musk stuff. We're going to get to that a little bit later. My voice, it'll be fine. Take a little water during the break or something like that. When we get back, and you're watching the Two Live Stews Experience, when we get back, we're going to talk about Trump and Musk. Musk. Did y'all know Musk was from apartheid Africa? He grew up in apartheid. We'll talk about it when we get back. All right. Quick break. Don't go away. A lot of the Two Live Stews we got left and coming up, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Don't go away. Two Live Stews.
When you know what to do with what you got, you can do more with it. All right. So shouts out to my man Lavrel as well as the World Changers, making this thing happen and getting it done with your financial needs. All right. The World Changers help empower individuals and communities throughout financial education and implementation. Your agent Lavrel Hawkins has made significant strides in the financial services industry, using his expertise to guide and support others in achieving financial stability as well as success. Lavrel uses an holistic approach that addresses the mental, physical, financial, and spiritual aspects of being in a well space and place when it comes to your finances, all right? Y'all give them a call, 919-764-4626. That's 919-764-4626. The World Changes Financials and Lavrel are dedicated to empowering you and your communities through financial education and implementation. 919-764-4626.
And the person who is helping him do that stood over Donald Trump in the White House today, thereby delivering a picture of presidential subservience, the likes of which we have never seen. The most powerless image of a president of the United States ever created by a camera. There it is. In that shot, Elon Musk is doing everything he possibly can to tell the world, without saying a word, that Donald Trump is not the boss of me. Donald Trump is the boss of the other adults in that shot, Stephen Miller and Will Scharf. The child was there as a power play by Elon Musk, demonstrating he can do whatever he wants in that room. When Donald Trump is your boss, you don't bring your kid into a business meeting with Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump is your boss, you don't talk more than Donald Trump in a business meeting with Donald Trump. Elon Musk spoke 3,666 words. Donald Trump spoke 2,487 words. Mike Pence never had a day like that in the Oval Office with Donald Trump. J.D. Vance will never have a day like that in the Oval Office with Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is the boss of J.D. Vance. When the president speaks in the Oval Office, no one else does. Except today.
Yeah, so I actually posted a picture of the press conference. You know, I'm working from home now, and don't act like you don't know. 9 times out of 10, you're working from home in this post-COVID era. You got the TV on. Okay, so I had the TV on. I'm in sales. I wouldn't talk to somebody, so I have the TV on a lot of times, and so I keep it on CNN pretty much all day. All right. And so I actually did a screenshot, and you're watching the Two Live Stews Experience. Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart, not here today, but I actually posted a picture at the press conference before, anyone reported on what happened and how interesting and how weird it was. Before anybody else did that, I noticed it was weird as shit. Elon Musk there with his son in his dress clothes, Donald Trump sitting down, Elon Musk, in effect, taking the microphone and going on and on about what he feels about government and, cutting government and this, that, and the other. And he's got his son on his shoulders, and he's just talking. Non-elected guy, no campaign or no election to first, talking about and making decisions and how he feels like government should run. And he got NAM credential. If you're from the country, you've heard the term NAM before. NAM means none. I don't know why we pronounce it NAM. The man got NAM credential. He's got NAM credential. So it was a very weird thing. So I posted this picture online, and I said, man, y'all don't think this is weird? Y'all don't think this is weird that this guy from another country, he's an illegal immigrant. Okay, this guy, I did the math. This guy's like 53 years old. The last year of apartheid was 1994. My math is correct. That's about half of his life that he lived under an apartheid system in South Africa. So this guy is used to just instructing and telling ninjas to do this, and other, and no back talk. Like damn near, the 1800s in this country. So it was just very weird to watch him standing there with his kid. And the guy that did the little interview within the video is right. Like really, him having his kid there, putting them on their shoulders like they're at Disney World or something, him having his kid there is really a flex. I think that's the term the young people use. It's really a flex. That was saying to the world, I don't give a shit about this. I do what I want. Yeah, I do what I want. I'm the richest man in the world. I got my kid here. I didn't even dress up. I didn't even put on a tie. I'm talking to the world, not just the country, but I'm talking to the world. I'm talking to the world with my kid on my shoulder like we at Disney World. My kid is just belligerent. The kid was belligerent. He should have got his ass whooped. If this was 1975, from a parent back in the 70s or whatever, he got his ass whooped. The kid's just belligerent all over the place. Trump's sitting there dumbfounded because he is dumbfounded. It was just a very weird thing. What are y'all thoughts about that? What are y'all thoughts about this guy? And you can post them in the chat room. What are y'all thoughts about this guy being in office for 24 days and wilding out like the way he is? And we'll read a lot of your chat messages. Hey, Kevin Durant, I want to get a little bit of basketball in. We're going to start to get a lot of basketball in, obviously, now because the NFL is over, the season is over, college football is over. Shouts out to Kevin Durant. He becomes the 8th player in NBA history to score 30,000 points. The 8th player, and there's been a lot of guys in the NBA. The 8th guy in NBA history to score over 30,000 points. He joins the list with LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, Kobe, the Bean, I want to talk more about the Kobe Bryant special as well. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone. I already mentioned Karl Malone. Michael Jordan, Dirk Nowitzki, and Wilt Chamberlain.
Actually, you're wrong again, Doug. He's the ninth player to ever score 30,000. He's in the 8th spot, but he's the 9th player because Dr. J also has over 30,000 points.
So wait a minute, what did I say wrong?
You said that he was the 8th player to score 30,000 points. He's the 9th player to score 30,000 points.
No, you're wrong. That's not wrong.
No, you just said he was the 8th player to score 30,000 points. He's the 9th player to score 30,000 points. You're wrong.
Okay, hold on. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see?
I know basketball. Hold basketball. Then you never.
Hold on. I can read.
Okay, can you read? Who's number 9?
Hold on.
Okay, who's number 9 on that list?
Kevin Durant became the 8th player in NBA history to score 30,000 points.
He's the 9th player, Doug. Who's number 9 on that list?
Hold on. You're saying he's wrong. You're saying this. What I'm reading is wrong.
I'm saying that you're saying it wrong.
No, I'm not. I'm reading it.
Doug,
I'm reading it.
Let's answer this question. Who's number 9 on the list?
I don't know.
Okay,
Kevin Durant. Hold on, Nadi. And this is the Naughty Dread. If you're new to the show, this ninja that just popped up out of nowhere.
To correct you, because that's what I do. I correct y'all when y'all are wrong.
With these long flowing locks. I'm reading a story from ESPN.com.
Okay, ESPN.com is wrong, Doug. I'm trying to get you right. I'm on Basketball Reference right now.
Okay.
Kevin Durant it's LeBron.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Kevin Durant became the 8th player in NBA history to score 30,000 points.
That's wrong. He's the 9th player in NBA history to score 30,000 points.
I would prefer you go and you find whoever the editor is at ESPN.com. You correct them.
I gotta correct you because you recited a bad source. That's what I'm trying to help the show. The show has to give accurate information, Doug.
Hold on. ESPN is a bad source. ESPN.com is a bad source.
Apparently it is if they told you that bogus stuff that you just read.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nadi, for correcting me. Thank you. I'm gonna take this screenshot. This man always popping on trying to damn show us up and shit. Hold on. I got something for his ass. Yeah. Katie reaches me a milestone. Is it okay? Yeah, I'll take a little screenshot. I always come with receipts. So, shouts out to Kevin Durant in any regard, and we'll get that cleared up later. In any regard, one of the greatest players that's ever walked the face of the earth. We always tell the story. It was at a Super Bowl one year. It was either at a Super Bowl. I'm thinking it's a Super Bowl. No, it couldn't have been a Super Bowl because the season's going on during the Super Bowl. So maybe it was All-Star Weekend. Yeah, that's what it is. I think it was either All-Star Weekend. I'm pretty sure it was All-Star Weekend. I think maybe even Vegas in particular because we only went to, when we were doing the show, we'd only went to 2 All-Star games, NBA All-Star games. One of them was in Las Vegas and the other one was somewhere else. I can't even remember where that was. But Radio Row. So Radio Row is where all of the different news broadcasts, radio broadcasts. They have a table set up and they broadcast their show. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you used to listen to the Stews back in the day. And Kevin Durant walks by. And when I tell you this dude looks like an alien in person, the dude looks like an alien. He's every bit of 7 foot. And you're watching the 2 Live Stews Experience. He's every bit of 7 foot. And he's literally 89 pounds. Like, he doesn't look real. And I've always said and made the statement that some people were born to do certain things. Kevin Durant was born to play basketball. There's not a lot of guys that play the game more naturally. He looks like he's at the playground. He doesn't look like a guy that grew up in AAU or playing organized basketball, whatever. He's just so natural with it. It's almost like basketball is just like second nature to the dude. And he becomes part of this list of guys to score 30,000 points. And I think we may have, not given him all the flowers that he's probably due throughout his career, because of a lot of stuff that may have happened, like him leaving Oklahoma State, going to Golden State, that whole stacking team stuff. A lot of people feel like that he was jumping teams as well. Started by LeBron James. You LeBron James fans, don't come for me this early in the morning. But a lot of people feel like that maybe he didn't realize his full potential as far as winning basketball games and winning rings. So shouts out to him. I've always recognized that this guy is one of the best to ever do it. I'm trying to think. Is there anybody else that I would say is a more natural, or that was more of a natural basketball player? There's been a lot. There's been a lot of real natural. Another guy that was a real natural basketball player to me was Bernard King. Off the top of my mind, I always say Bernard King was just born to play basketball. Way before a lot of you use times that's watching the show right now. But Bernard King was a baller for the New York Knicks back in the day in the NBA. But shouts out to Kevin Durant, and shouts out to him for all of his accomplishments. When that guy was at the University of Texas, I don't think anybody thought he may have been the first pick. He was a very high pick, I believe, maybe first. Not 100% sure. Nadi can fact check me on that. But when he came to the league, I don't think anybody thought he'd do this. I think a lot of people thought he'd be great. Remember, the big knock against him coming out of college was how skinny he was. The dude is skinny, but he's tough like leather. He's tough like leather. He's had, older, so he's had a couple of injuries lately over the last couple of years. And so that's coming to play a little bit. But this guy's been in the league for over, I think he's right at 20 years or so, and just been phenomenal. Obviously, we're scoring 30,000 points. One more last football story. I'm going to jump back to football here. Comments made by Dak Prescott that were caught yesterday, and you're watching the Two Live Shoes Experience, that were made over the past weekend to a reporter saying that the Dallas Cowboys, in light of Jaden Daniels in Washington, the Redskins, the Commanders, in light of Jaden Daniels, the phenomenon of Jaden Daniels stepping up for the Washington Commanders, and obviously with the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl this year, Giants, obviously the worst team in that division, the NFC East. Dak Prescott says that he thinks that they're fine. He thinks that they're not far, that they're pretty close. And asked about the Cowboys and their future, the future of the organization and the team. And a lot of people real upset about that. A lot of people mad that that Dak Prescott would say these things. And if you look back at what happened over the season, very disappointing season, didn't make the playoffs, and just real, what's the term the young people use? Mid. Okay, just real mid over this past year. And my question to those people questioning what Dak Prescott had to say about the Cowboys' chances and going forward is, what's he supposed to say? He's not supposed to be the leader of the team making whatever millions he makes. I think he makes like $60 million a year, something crazy like that. He's supposed to be positive. He's supposed to say that, yeah, we can compete with anybody. We just had some things that didn't go our way this year. We got to make a couple moves and we'll be right there contending. Maybe, he could have softened that a little bit by saying more and talking more about, the past season that they had and the disappointments that they had. But I don't have a problem at all. And I know there's a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans that watch the show. I don't have a problem at all with Dak Prescott being positive about the outlook of the organization and of the team going forward. I don't have a problem with that at all. And you're watching the Two Live Stews Experience. Make sure you post your thoughts in the chat room. At the end of the day, and I want Arlie's in the green room. Arlie, thumbs up, thumbs down. Can you read some chat today? Tree's not here? Yes. She gave us a thumbs up. So last 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the show, we're going to read a lot of your messages in the chat room and get your thoughts about everything about these comments from Greg Jennings, about Elon Musk running the country and no election the first. Your thoughts if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. Anything that you want to get into, we will get into. I want to remind you, this Monday, 12 noon, Lunch and Learn number 2 with your boy, Doug Stewart. If you're new to the show, in my daily life, I'm in the financial services industry. In particular, I sell life insurance. I get people prepared for, final expenses and leaving this world. So Lunch and Learn number 2 Monday, the first episode that I did this past Monday at noon was just about life insurance, in particular term life insurance and whole life insurance just in general. I broke it down. So you can actually go back on Stewart Media and Entertainment and see that episode where I broke down everything there was to know or you need to know about term or whole life insurance. This coming Monday, I'm going to talk about the $1 million baby concept. Okay. And you can Google it, and it's a big concept talked about in life insurance. And it's basically, in a nutshell, it's putting life insurance on, and I know it's kind of morbid and to discuss. It's not in anticipation of a child dying, but it's in anticipation of growing wealth for children. Okay. There's a financial investing aspect to life insurance that a lot of companies don't talk about that is significant in changing your family's financial trajectory forever. Important. Okay. So we'll talk about it on the Lunch and Learn Monday at 12 noon. If you can, stop through, and we're going to be talking about the $1 million baby concept. All right, when we get back from the break, I think we got Arlie. The Arlie report next? The Arlie report is next. The Arlie report is next. And we got our Nadi's Funky 4 coming up later. And I don't think we're going to do the top 5. Word on the street is, because of the outcome of the top 5, we might wait until Monday when Ryan's here to defend himself about another loss. All right? So don't go away. Arlie coming up next. 2 Live Stews.
Imagine feeling invigorated and focused, not by artificial substances, but by natural pre-workout supplements. This isn't just a thought, but a reality many athletes and fitness enthusiasts are embracing. They hold the key to elevated performance without the commonly associated side effects of synthetic products. However, overlooking the potential of these supplements means missing out on that all-natural energy boost and focus. It means accepting unnecessary crashes post-workout. It's a pain point that no fitness enthusiast should grapple with, especially when there's a healthier alternative. At Lion Roar Herbs, we produce a vegan all-natural pre-workout that is proven to increase performance and boost every workout. Visit us at lionroarherbs.com to learn more and look for natural performance energy. That's NPE. We are sure you will feel the difference.
Hollywood report.
Good morning.
Good morning, Arlie. How are you?
I am doing extremely well.
So
I'm grateful.
I watched a significant portion of the No Show yesterday.
Yes.
And you talked about it, that your
granny.
Your granny went on to glory.
She did. Y'all, we had just wished her happy birthday at the end of December. She just had a birthday.
She just had a birthday. We
Yep.
actually talked about her a little bit on your last show because you were going home to Mississippi.
Yep.
M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter I, humpback I,
Yep.
for your father's and your
uncle's
birthday.
Yep.
So did Granny celebrate? You
She was in there dancing, honey. She has a song that she loves. She had this blues singer that's Miss Jody is her name, and she sings this song. You better sleep with one eye open because this man won't leave me alone. It's the funniest song. And my grandmama kept trying to make her perform. We kept trying to explain, Granny, she costs money when you perform. She's like, she our cousin. She gonna do it for free. I was like, no, that's not how that works. She would not let it go. She and her younger sister, who's 94, it was two of them left. They get up, they dance with Miss Jody while they played the song on the radios. And you have to listen to the lyrics of this song. When I finally listened, me and my cousin were like, let me see why my grandmama like this song. It's you sleep one eye open because this man will leave me alone. All he want to do is make love all night long. I said, wait a minute, Granny, what is this that you like this song?
You get that tap on that shoulder, tap on that shoulder, 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's what the song says. You got to get all your work done before he get there, because he gonna want to do it with you all night long. So she danced to that song. Sunday, we went to church. We were dressed alike at church. She drove me home. She's not allowed to cross the street in her car. The church is on the same side of the street. It's her house. So she came out, and I video recorded her driving. I said, Granny, you still? Yeah, I'm still, going. We get in. Tuesday morning, I wake up to go get somebody in my car, and she was sitting there going on to glory. And I was like, wait,
oh, Lord have mercy.
So I was there. I was the one who found the Lord Jesus. I ain't gonna never, ever. I said, you were so worried about your sons. You worried about me. What about me?
Wait a minute. Once again, condolences to you and your family. Let me back up a little bit. She was how old?
96.
And I thought about this from what y'all said yesterday as well. She was 96 still driving?
Yes.
Yes. Well, not only was she still driving, but she was about to get in the car and drive somewhere.
She did drive me somewhere. She was driving. I video recorded, and I sent it to my brother, who posted it on his stories like that Sunday, because it was on Sunday. She had cooked dinner for everybody. She does Sunday dinner still. She doesn't cook during the week anymore, but she cooked Sunday dinner for everybody. We were all at the house after church eating Sunday dinner. Monday, we watched her stories because I bought her iPad during the pandemic, and she be over there working. She's on Facebook. People like, wait a minute, your grandma on Facebook? Yes. And she will comment on your little stuff. She used to call my brother and tell him to take that down. I don't like it. Take it down.
My grandmother was, I believe she was like 86, 87. And she was still trying to drive like in her early 80s. And what started happening was, we from a little small town.
Mm-hmm.
What started happening is she started losing her sense of direction. And she'd be like in the middle of the main traffic intersection in town, and the car would be stopped, and she'd be trying to figure out what was going on. And somebody that knew her, everybody know everybody.
Everybody know it in a small town. They all know.
Somebody that knew her would see her, and they help her get to the side or something like that, and they'd call my mother.
Mm-hmm.
They said, oh, your mama is over here on 7th Street or whatever, and our mother would have to go down, or our mother would call one of us to go and help her. It was like, I've always believed in going through that whole situation. It was much more grave than what I'm telling you right now. That there should be a limit, an age limit to when you can drive.
Well, there should be. And that's what kind of happened to her one time. Something happened to her going further than she should. So and she has all boys. So they not, oh boy, having all boys. I'm a boy mom. Oh my God, they rough on you. And she's a tough cookie because she had boys, but she's the sweetest little. It's funniest thing is she's shorter than me, y'all. So she was not even pushing 5 feet at this point, but they told her she couldn't go across the street, and she listened. She was still in her right mind, so she could stay on the same side of the street wherever she was going. Her sister's house was on this side of the street. The church was on this side of the street. They said they called her mud deer. Mud deer, you cannot cross the highway. And she said, okay.
Wow.
So
wow. And I see a lot of people in the chat room commenting about this same topic. Rest in peace to your granny. Grannies,
they
special. Grannies are special. Like,
they are special. They think you can do no wrong. My daddy was gonna kill me, and I mean kill in the literal sense of the word. One time when I was about 10th, 11th grade, might have been 11th grade, and my grandmother happened to be coming in town that weekend. Baby saved my life because she didn't believe in whippings. Her mama would tell you, as she said, tick-toe up. My grandmama, don't be whipping people. You don't be spanking that baby. Don't you spank her.
Mm-hmm.
Saved saved it, because my daddy was threatening to kill me. Like, breathe hard, I'm gonna shoot you. It was bad. My grandmama came and saved the day.
Your daddy was gonna shoot you.
Yeah, it's a long story. You had to maybe I'll tell it one day on the no show when we have story time. But yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Oh, it was bad.
Did Naughty and I don't want Naughty to pop in right now because
he gonna pop out and sometimes you gotta pop out and show a ninja.
Did Naughty tell a story? And can I get a thumbs up about him getting? He didn't tell a story yet about some woman taking his stuff. So I'm very interested to hear the story about your father was going to put a bullet in you. Now, I was going to say my grandmother, and I'm going to let you get your report here in a second. My grandmother was the total opposite of your grandmother. My grandmama used to beat our ass.
But y'all were boys. Well, she didn't beat nobody though, but yeah.
Yeah, my grandmama used to switch, old school switch. My grandmother in the front of my grandmother's house was a cinder block house, no bigger than this room that I'm in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And in the front yard, there was a rose bush. I can't remember exactly what I did at this point, but I did something very, very bad. And I knew what was about to happen. I knew my grandmother was go grab a switch. She had a rose bush and she had another bush in the front yard as well. She used to grab from the regular bush, rip the leaves off and spank us with that type of switch. This particular day, she reached for the rose bush with her bare hands. Now my grandmama had hands like she's lived a rough life. It was some hard workers. Yeah. She rips off the leaves from the rose bush with the thorns and everything.
I'm like, don't they have thorns?
Yes.
Ooh, and you're gonna get an extra whipping because she was hurting.
Yes. And Bernie Mac, he'd say yes. And whoop my legs. I had on short pants, whoop my legs with all this thorny switch. And my grandmother was up the chain.
You didn't do that again. You didn't do it again, though. I tell you that.
Hell no. Hell no. Go. Let's get your Arlie report in.
Y'all, I'm so glad to be back. Thank you all for your prayers and your support for my grandmother and the passing of my grandmother. It has been, I can't tell you how rough it was. And I can ask for your continued prayers for my family she was the matriarch. So, yeah. Thank you. We have birthdays is coming up. Y'all know how that goes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
I would sing, but you
got
my
a little
voice is
whiskey
going.
throat.
Yeah,
you got whiskey throat.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to comedian and morning talk show jock Jess Hilarious. Just 33. God, I thought she was old.
I like Jess Hilarious.
Do you?
There's a video that I just saw with her and Country Wayne. You like Country Wayne?
I haven't watched the series like I should, and everybody's always like, "Why you not on Country Wayne skits?" I was like, I don't know how to find Country Wayne to get on his skits.
Well, but he one day just popped up in my feed, and I've been watching him forever. I think he's hilarious. A lot of people don't like him, but anyway,
funny, and he pays well. I heard.
You know who I'm talking about. You've seen this guy, Country Wayne. So
I've seen him. He has like a whole. He has like a whole series.
Yes,
and then they have sections, and people because it was him and Rolanda, I think is her name. She was in a movie. In that movie with me, she's like his old boo or something on there or something.
Yeah. Him and Jess Hilarious used to date.
Oh.
And allegedly, let Jess tell it, Country Wayne was married and she didn't know, but they broke up. But anyway, they've kind of made that into a skit. And I'm going to try to find it. If not, you can remind me to try to find that skit. They like bumped into each other in the parking lot at the mall or something, and she had a dude with him and he had a girl, and they just went off on each other, clowning each other.
Yeah, they are comedians, and she is a go off on you kind of girl. I just thought she was much older, but yeah. NFL legendary wide receiver Randy Moss is celebrating a birthday today. He was 48. God, he seemed younger. I can't keep up. But I'm praying for Randy Moss. I hope everything is going well with him.
Yeah, so he appeared this weekend before the Super Bowl in the pregame show on ESPN for the first time in I'm gonna say a month or so, 2 months maybe.
Oh wow.
And he acknowledged that he had cancer and that that he had beat it. He was cancer free at the time, and he got real emotional and started crying. They did a tribute to him, and it was real dramatic. But he says that he's healthy, he's ready to go. So y'all pray for Randy Moss, man.
Pray for him.
I believe the greatest wide receiver of all time. A lot of people say Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
But if I had the choice between Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, it's not even close. I'm taking Randy Moss.
I'm taking Jerry because he from Mississippi. Got to
Mississippi,
take
right.
Got to take my homeboy from Itabena. Yeah. And then coming up on birthdays is Megan Thee Stallion, who will turn just 30, Lynn Whitfield, 72, Corinne Fox, 29, and Birdman, put some spec on his name, 56. So y'all, first up, let me ask y'all. I'm talking to just Doug. Doug, if you had an opportunity to go hang out, so this story took me down a rabbit hole. Let me just say that. Remember back in October, I reported that Big Meech from BMF, the co-founders of BMF, was getting out. He was going to a halfway house in Florida, and everybody was all excited, and people had sent him some messages, and folks were mad. They were celebrating this, convicted felon. But I was like, he did his time. He had 30 years. He served close to 20. He has another year or so to serve in his halfway house. They're having a BMF Big Meech Welcome Back Legacy concert. These are the people that are coming. Doug, how many of the people Doug? I got to the top row, and after that, I was like, who are these people?
So I know I've heard of everybody on the top row. I've heard of Kodiak Black, but 42 Doug, no. SG, no. Moneybag Yo, I've heard the name Moneybag Yo. Boss Man, D-Lo, I've heard that name. I don't know T Grizzly, Babyface Day. I don't know none of them ninjas after that.
Well, I see Boosie down there. Y'all think that's the Boosie? How he get way down there under these people? This is concerning. He about to have a whole clown show after they got him on this list this low.
That's Tay B Boosie. Bring it back up one more time, Nadi.
Oh, that's not Tay B. And then
you see what the blue line is?
Oh, but they don't put no blue line.
You're right.
That ain't
I don't know.
Payroll Giovanni. That's too many names.
That can't be the real Boosie. The real Boosie wouldn't be that far down on anybody's bill.
He'd be mad. Or if he is, he about to come in there and clown somebody. But this is my question.
Okay, I know where you're going. Go ahead.
Okay, I got two questions. One, Rick Ross. Okay, so the reason this even came up is because 50 Cent is trolling Big Meech and calling him a rat, saying that for him to have gotten out that early, he must have told on somebody and snitched. He's really upset because he and 50 and Rick Ross have a beef, and how dare Big Meech have Rick Ross perform when 50 got beef with Rick Ross. Now.
Oh, so okay, 50 is very sensitive like that. Like he feels like if it's my enemy, it should be your enemy too.
Okay. But Big Meech is a real gangster.
Right.
Not pretend. I'm not saying 50 is a pretend gangster, but he is more of, as the people on the chat. I mean, not chat, but in the comments were saying, an internet gangster. Those are two different kinds of
Absolutely. So here's the thing about 50, and I love 50. I love his music. There's a consistent theme to 50 Cent.
He's
anybody that he's down with, that he's friends with, at some point they turn on each other. Am I right or wrong about that? Like anybody that's been like the whole thing with Floyd Mayweather, him and Floyd were like this.
And now they're not?
Now they're not. This man did an entire series.
Oh,
did 50 do the series on BMF?
Yes, he did.
He did a whole series about this man's life, in effect, Big Meech.
He did.
And now they're not cool with each other. It's a consistent theme.
But I don't think Big Meech knew they weren't cool. I think because now he finally said something, and he put a rat on the front of, he has a picture of the two of them, and he put a cheese and a rat on 50's face. Like, I don't know if 50 won't. Well, first of all, Big Meech not trying to go back to prison, I'm sure. So he ain't about to do nothing.
Right.
But
I agree.
That would have been the fight I wanted to have. Second, are we forgiving Rick Ross? Like, I feel, I don't know. I feel funny because Rick Ross was just cooning, up there for, now he over here with BMF. I don't know what's happening.
Right. That's a good point.
I wonder if he's doing this for some, like, I'm gonna get my street cred back.
Right. Possibly. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. And you're right. Just that fast, I forgot that Rick Ross was just cooning in DC for Donald Trump, I don't know, a month ago.
January 6th? January 20th. So it hadn't even been a month. It was right for the inaugural, the night before the So it's like the 19th of January. So it's been a month, not even a full month.
Mm.
So I'm just interested in how to, and then also there are conditions of his parole, like I'm not parole, of his being out at the halfway house. And I am almost positive being in a concert with these folks is not going to meet the conditions. It just feels like he about to get back in some trouble.
Yeah. Better be careful.
Very careful. But the concert is today. So we're going to see about it in a minute. It's February 13th. We about to see what it's going to be. If people show up, if people buy tickets, the people come from all across the country. He said people coming from the whole world. DC, Atlanta, Detroit. They come into Florida to come to my show.
So listen, something I wanted to mention. I thought you were going to mention this. And listen, good luck to Big Meech.
Absolutely.
Once again, I've been in Atlanta for 30 years. The BMF era is what I call it. The BMF era in Atlanta was very, very different. Epic. It was epic. Let me just put it like that. Okay. That and the Katrina survivors that came to Atlanta was a very epic time. Let's just put it like that. Why is Big Meech, who's this drug lord, getting out of jail, and it's like we're celebrating the Pope just got out of jail, or some civil rights leader like Martin Luther King? Just like, I don't know if y'all know it, but BMF was into some very heavy crime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying. I don't want anybody to go back and tell them that
we don't want no. We don't want no smoke.
But why does our community go up and out of its way to celebrate
criminals?
I mean, this seems excessive to me.
It seems. I'm concerned about his parole.
Right. A party, concert. I mean,
and it's big.
Lil Boots will be there. It's big. Allegedly. I have that thought a lot of times when I see this type of thing. You're having a concert for
welcome you back. Just come back and quiet and just chill for a minute. Just under the radar. That would be me, under the radar.
Well, I mean, but I don't think it's him throwing the party. And you're right. Maybe if I'm him, I don't accept. I say, no, don't do anything like that. I need to stay under the radar. But this is clearly put on and done by some promoter trying to make money, because he thinks a great product that people will purchase is the name and the person Big Meech. You see what I'm saying? They're not having this thing to celebrate because they don't think anybody's gonna buy tickets. They're doing it because he's a celebrity.
Yep, he is a celebrity.
Kind of what we call that back in the day is ass backwards.
Yep. We're gonna see how this roll though later on today, y'all. I hear my music playing. Thank you all for everything. I will see y'all. Everybody have a safe weekend out there and love somebody on purpose. Yeah.
Hey, Arlie, I appreciate the report today. I know we took a lot of your time talking about your granny and other stuff. Rest in peace, your granny, okay?
Yay.
All right, don't go away. 2 Live Stews coming right back.
Have you ever been stranded on the side of the road, Arlie?
Yes.
It's not comfortable, is it?
No.
Dogs and Poodles, if you find yourself in a jam on the side of the highway, give my folks at Bay 11 Towing a call, 404-770-6949. Again, that's 404-770-6949. Being stranded on the side of the road in Metro Atlanta is very stressful and dangerous. Bay 11 Towing is who you need to call, whether you're dealing with a flat tire, dead battery, full-on breakdown, or whatever that may have you on the side of the road. Call our folks at Bay 11 Towing, and they will get to you with a competitive rate and quicker than everybody else in town. Again, that's Bay 11 Towing. That number is 404-770-6949.
Welcome back to the show, Doug Stewart. Ryan Stewart. Ryan's not here today. Thank you for joining your boys on this. We used to call this a Throwback Thursday back in the day. And if we were doing the show 5 days a week, all right, if we had a title sponsor that could foot the bill for all of this, we would be bringing back Throwback Thursday. And guess what? We are well on our way to making that happen, where we're going to have more than 2 shows a week. Some big things popping with the Stews, so stay tuned for that. Naughty's Funky 4. Can Naughty Dread, the Naughty Dread, join me? Naughty, what up, baby?
What's happening, man?
Chilling.
That's good, man. I see them cocktails got to you, man.
What do you mean?
Them cocktails, man.
Are you talking about my
It
voice?
sound like you put more than cocktails in your mouth though, but in your throat.
What? What?
I'm just saying, pause.
That don't sound right.
I know. I
Don't sound
know.
right. Nah.
I know.
right, so-
Some young lady entice you to do some things you might have want to done.
Right.
That's what
right.
it sounds like, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So Nadi's Funky Four, the 4 stories that we missed that we should be talking about. We just didn't get a chance to talk about it once again because we don't have the time. A lot of people forget, man. We did for like 2 years. We did a 4-hour show every day a week, 5 days a week. So there's a lot of stuff that from a production standpoint that we can do, we're going to do when we get to that point. Stay tuned. But a lot of stuff we missed, but Nadi going to talk about it right now. What's up, baby? What you got?
Yep, I'm going to start off with everybody's favorite celebrity, Donald Trump. Can't stop talking about him. Donald Trump administration rescinded the Title IX guidance put forth by former President Joe Biden that would have resulted in significant changes to name, image, and likeness in college athletics. In the that's what the Department of Education did. And that pretty much what it did was they want to spread NIL money across all sports, even to the women's sports and things like that. But it was taken away from the college football, it's taken away from the college basketball. And a lot of the big programs like Ohio State, they want to give their NIL money where they believe the NIL money is earned or where it's worth. They don't want to have to spread
Football.
it out to these women's sports. They want to go straight to football or they want to go to basketball because, and not just Ohio State, a lot of SEC schools, they're trying to compete.
Right.
And they need to send the money to where it needs to go. This is a statement coming from the Secretary for Civil Rights, Craig Trainer. The NIL guidance rammed through by the Biden administration in its final day is overly burdensome, profoundly unfair, and it goes well beyond what the agency guidance is intended to achieve. Without a credible legal justification, the Biden administration claimed the NIL agreements between schools and student athletes are akin to financial aid and must therefore be proportionally distributed between male and female athletes under Title IX. It goes on to say the claim that Title IX forces schools and colleges to distribute student athlete revenues proportionally based on gender equity consideration is sweeping and will require clear legal authority to support it. That does not exist. Accordingly, the Biden NIL guidance is rescinded. So they want to just give the money to where it should go. In my opinion, they got this right.
I agree with it. There's something else. There's something else that happened that we talked about the last show that I agreed with. Oh, I know what it was.
The boys not playing with the girls.
Right. I agree with that too.
Right.
Like, no offense, but women's lacrosse or women's golf ain't making no money. Now, I mean, this in this society is in this democratic society, it is what it is.
It is what it is. You're right. I mean,
I'm trying to think of some other words to try to, paint around the whole point, but it is what it is. People pay for college basketball. They pay for college football.
Correct. One of the biggest NIL athletes to get a lot of money is the female gymnastics dancer at LSU. But see, she earned that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should just distribute money to the women's sports or the women athletes just because your football team is really good. That means you need to give it to the football team. But if you got a female basketball player like Caitlin Clark was or Juju in USC, she's gonna earn her NIL money.
Right.
And that's where it should go. It shouldn't go. And you spoke about Donald Trump being in office for only 23 days. And whether you like what he's done or you don't like what he's done, it almost feels like he's gotten more done in 23 days than a lot of presidents do in 4 years.
Yeah, but if it's bullshit and if it's dumb, what does that mean?
We got 2 things over the last week that we all agree with.
That's true.
It all ain't BS.
True. That's true.
And like I say, whether you agree with what he's getting done or you don't agree with what he's getting done, he's getting stuff done. So, shout out to the most famous celebrity in America right now, Donald Trump.
All right, what else you got for us?
My second story. So Aaron Rodgers, the Jets already told him we don't want your services no more, man. You can go ahead and do what you gonna do. And they was
so
talking
that's
about
official.
Yeah. So the Pittsburgh Steelers was one of the teams that was talking about he could be the next quarterback. Well, Steelers DB Deshaun Elliott said Rodgers can leave his ass at the retirement home. Well, he wants no part of Aaron Rodgers with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you think Aaron Rodgers might end up? Because he has expressed interest in playing again this year.
I think inadvertently and advertently, a lot of salt has been sprinkled on him. And when you factor in his age, I think that most teams aren't going to they're not going to take a flyer on him. I think he might be done.
Think he might
You
be
see what I'm
done?
saying? It's a negative connotation around his name right now.
Yeah. It's almost like he's a diva and he comes to your franchise. He controls your franchise.
Right. And once again, the media controls everything. And the way that it was reported this last year, he was like you said, he was a diva in the locker room and the Jets weren't, better with him. And so I think maybe you factor in his age, I think he might be done. I don't think another team is going to take a flyer on him. But you know what? You know what?
30 quarterbacks better than Aaron Rodgers.
That's exactly what I was about to say. He's good enough to be a starter for the last, third of the teams in the NFL. The last 25%
Somebody
of
take a
teams in the
flyer
NFL.
on him.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna take a flyer on Kirk Cousins. Somebody can take a flyer on Aaron Rodgers.
You think somebody's gonna take a flyer on Kirk Cousins?
Of course, if the Falcons let him go, somebody's gonna take a flyer on him.
Ooh.
Kirk Cousins is not. There are not 30 quarterbacks in the NFL better than Kirk Cousins.
Well,
That's just the truth.
I mean, in this whole story that he threw out there that he was hurt the whole time when the team was losing, that's a perfect setup for him to say that I wasn't healthy, but when I am healthy, I'm better. I'm good. So he might be back too as well.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, going away from sports a little bit. You remember Sonya Massey? She was shot by the police officer for holding a pot of water.
Yeah.
Well, Andy Van Meter, the Sangamon County Board Chair, released a memo about the shooting. No price can be paid to take back the actions of a rogue former deputy, but this agreement is an effort to provide some measure of compensation to the Massey family for their unimaginable loss. So her family was awarded $10 million, which it just doesn't seem enough. But they've been rewarded $10 million for the wrongly death of Miss Sonya Massey.
Yeah. So, and I'm sorry, $10 million ain't enough to lose your mother or your grandmother or your sister or whatever. But once again, this was a civil case. And this is a good opportunity to bring up that point because I believe Ben Crump was her attorney as well. And it seems like anybody that has this type of situation, Ben Crump is on the scene. Ben Crump is a civil attorney. A lot of people, why is it Ben Crump is a vulture? He's always there trying to, make money and fame off of people's, people's travesties.
Right.
That's not the case. Ben Crump's a civil attorney is there to get the money.
Correct.
And I don't think 10 million is enough for losing your mother or your grandmother once again. But Ben Crump is a civil attorney. He is there to make sure that the family gets paid. And he's not a defense attorney or anything like that. He's there to get the money.
Right. And the officer, he was charged with first-degree murder. So that's so criminally it was handled, civilly it was handled. The county came to an agreement with the Justice Department to ensure they have the tools to adequately train its department in de-escalation techniques dealing with mental health disabilities and non-discriminatory policing going forward. So they've said the right things, but like you said, $10 million just doesn't seem just due for losing your mother, your grandmother, your auntie, your sister.
I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes how I feel, I'll get on social media and I'll go back and forth with people. We talked about this at the top of the show. That whole saying that these young people have today. I got time today. Like
right.
sometimes I'll have time and I'm like sitting on the couch and I'll read across something and somebody's saying something, bringing back, if a Mike Vick story is posted, somebody will go back to the whole dog fighting thing. And I'll drop it in. I was like, let me ask you something. You're talking about Mike Vick and what he did 30 years ago, 20 years ago. But did you say a mumbling word when they killed Sonia Massey? When they killed Breonna Taylor in her bed, did you say a mumbling word? Your priorities are all messed up. Your priorities are messed up if you're talking about some situation like Vic or any other thing that's not where your mother or your grandmother is getting murdered in her own kitchen or sleeping in her own bed.
You're right. You're right. Sometimes it almost seems like, man, they care more about the dogs.
They care more
Which
about
I
the
care about
dogs.
dogs too, but not more than I care about
People.
human life. Right.
It's that they don't care about black people. Animals, these people I'm talking about. I'm not saying everybody.
Right.
These people I'm talking about do care more about dogs, do care more about animals than black people. That's just a fact. If you're still railing on what O.J. Simpson did or didn't do, even though he got exonerated 30 years ago, if you still bringing up O.J. did it, and you still bringing up Michael Vick as a piece of shit because of what he allegedly did or didn't do with these dogs, but then you are quiet as a church mouse and talking about somebody getting murdered in their bed sleeping or in their own kitchen in their own house, then I know where you're coming from. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I know exactly where you're coming from.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, I don't have time today, so I ignore it.
Right. Well, I got a Black History person this week like I had last week. And this week, Black History love is going to Patricia Bath. Patricia Bath discovered and invented a new device and technique for cataract surgery known as laser phaco, which is a surgical technique that uses a laser to remove cataracts. Now, Bath served her residency in ophthalmology in New York University from 1970 to 1973. She's the first African-American to do so. She was an American ophthalmologist and humanitarian. She became the first female member of the Jules Stein Eye Institute, the first woman to lead a postgraduate training program in ophthalmology, the first woman elected to the honorary staff of UCLA Medical Center. Bath was the first African-American to serve as a resident in ophthalmology at New York University, which I said. She was also the first African-American woman to serve as staff as a surgeon at the UCLA Medical Center. Bath was the first African-American woman doctor to receive a patent for a medical purpose, a holder of 5 patents. She's founded the nonprofit American Institute for Prevention of Blindness in Washington, D.C. Now, based on her observation at Harlem Hospital, Bath published her first scientific paper showing the higher prevalence of blindness amongst blacks. Bath also found that African-American people had 8 times higher prevalence of glaucoma as a cause of blindness. Based on her research, Bath pioneered the discipline of community ophthalmology in 1976. After observations of epidemic rates of preventable blindness among underserved populations in urban areas in the U.S., as well as underserved populations in third world countries. So she was a huge humanitarian, trying to get black people to see right, which it seemed like we need another patent, another surgery to continue to get black people to see right. But man, shout out to that sister, man. Got to give a big shout out to Patricia Bath for man, her brilliance. And she passed away in 2019. So,
shouts out to Patricia Bath posthumously.
Right.
That's dope. And I've never heard, I think I've heard her name before, but she's not like the typical whoever we talk about in Black History Month. But that's a great spotlight, Nadi. Good stuff.
Right.
Anything else? We good?
That's it, man. That's my funky four for this week.
Hey, appreciate it. And that's the great Nadi Dread. I like y'all sound effect applause. Why we don't have that on the show?
It's some technical things that's going on. We have it, but we don't have it the same way that I have it. You know, I can have a whole. I have it all. You know what I'm saying? I have it. I have it all, Doug.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're on the network right now doing it.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. It has to be capable to do or perform on our show as well. We need that. I mean, we need that.
It's a work in progress, man. But you know, it's coming.
It's almost like I'm ganking you, like I'm ganking you, like I'm Big Meech or something. We need to get that, partner.
Yeah, we gonna work on it. I gotta get with Tree, man. You know.
Let me get that out you. Let me get
that out you. Let me get that out you.
The third war soldier.
All right. Thank you, Arlie. Thank you, Nadi. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right. So when we get back from the break, I think we're going to a break right now. Let's see. No, we're not going to a break right now. So I want to give a special shout out to somebody made a donation. Here we go. Shouts out to Carrie Portis. Carrie says, Doug, you need an old remedy for that voice, like some whiskey, lemon, and some honey. Exactly. And I think that's what I'm going to do as soon as the show is over. And you know what else? How I think I got this little frog in my throat? That I was out in the air last night. And I don't know if you're not in Atlanta, if people in Atlanta know exactly what I'm talking about. In the last day, it went from spring weather, like literally was 80 degrees 2 days ago. And then yesterday, the Hawk came back out in force. Yesterday, it was 30 degrees. It was 30 degrees. And so I went out. I told you I went out yesterday for a little dinner meeting or whatever. And I didn't cover up right. Speaking to my grandma said, you out there trying to show shape. I was out there trying to show shape last night. My neck was out and everything. And so this is the result. All right, when we get back from the break, we're going to a couple of little stories I want to mention. And also we're going to talk a little bit more about Kendrick and the Super Bowl performance. And I'm going to run something by y'all. And y'all tell me what y'all think in the chat room. We're going to read a lot of chat at the end of today's show. Ryan's not here today, but we're still having a good time. Even though my voice is gone, we're still having a good time talking about these sports and yada, yada. Don't go away. The Two Live Stews.
When you know what to do with what you got, you can do more with it. All right? So shouts out to my man Lavrell as well as the World Changers, making this thing happen and getting it done with your financial needs. All right? The World Changers help empower individuals and communities throughout financial education and implementation. Your agent, Lavrell Hawkins, has made significant strides in the financial services industry, using his expertise to guide and support others in achieving financial stability as well as success. Lavrell uses an holistic approach that addresses the mental, physical, financial, and spiritual aspects of being in a well space and place when it comes to your finances, all right? Y'all give them a call, 919-764-4626. That's 919-764-4626. The World Changers Financials and Lavrell are dedicated to empowering you and your communities through financial education and implementation. 919-764-4626.
I'm trying to hear one word that makes sense.
What's he trying to say?
Becky in the background was getting it. Oh, now, so that was and they're floating all over the interweb, and you're watching the Two Live Stews Experience. Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart. Ryan's not here today. He had some family business to tend to. The video you just saw was the average, I would say, and assume the average everyday. And I want Arlie to come on because I want to discuss this.
Yes,
that is what I'm thinking was the average everyday white family in America watching the halftime show. Okay.
Their grandchildren, like the young folks, knew exactly. They were in there doing whatever little dance they do. But most of the people were like,
well, you know what? You have to get an ear, and I'm going to bring this back home. You have to get an ear, because I remember when hip hop started. I remember for the first couple of years when hip hop started. That's how old I am. I remember for the first couple of years hip hop started, there was this thing, we can't understand what they're saying.
Right.
Or they're talking too fast, or whatever they're saying. We had to get an ear for hip hop.
Yep.
And maybe that was just me and my personal experience. I remember right. So you can imagine that these old, as you would say, families and old people, whatever,
confused,
who Kendrick was trying to speak to, and the message that he was delivering in the performance, they didn't understand what he was saying. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying? So my point is, did he deliver a message or did he not deliver a message? Because the people that he was trying to deliver the message to were white America, right? Should have been, right?
I think it was everybody. I think the message was for us too. Like, y'all,
well, we know the message. We know everything that he said about what we did and building this country. We know that. We know that.
They know it too. They're clear because they know they went out there digging and doing nothing. But
my point is, do you think that they understood the point he was trying to make?
But I will say this. I hope that they're they want to know what was said because they feel like they missed something. They're going to go research, look up lyrics, see whatever. So they might not have gotten the message right then. They're going to go, did he say this what he said?
Right.
And he's going to probably get backlash. It's going to take a minute because you got to catch up. But I promise you.
Wait a minute. That's a good point. But yeah.
But at the moment, I can promise you, my mama, my godmama, none of them, they probably were in there like, what? Because my mama doesn't listen to rap like that. She probably was like, yay. The music, my mama hit a beat.
Listen, once again, I want to make sure I reiterate this. You're watching the Two Live Stews Experience. I want to reiterate what I said Monday is respect him for, in effect, this was taking a stand and the message that he tried to deliver or the message that he did deliver. I'm not a fan of his music, period.
Right.
So to me, his whole cadence is hard to understand.
It is. I don't know what he's saying. I have a girl that sings a band with me. Everything he says, though. It's people that know all the words. Me, I'm like, all I got is they not like us. They not, and we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. But the rap part, I'm like.
Right. Yeah. So
I'm still
I thought that was interesting. Everybody in America, in Black America, is giving him a ton of props, which deservedly is so because of the message, once again, he was trying to deliver. But really, you're not delivering the message to us because we know this. We deal with this every single day, being Black and living in America.
Right.
The people you were trying to preach to, who you were trying to deliver this message to, I would put a 90% number on. They didn't know what the hell he was saying.
They
couldn't understand.
Popcorn. But I'm gonna say this too, Doug. Initially, I did not see. I had to watch it on replay because I was traveling, and I'm in a text group with a bunch of musicians that I perform with, and their response was like, "Oh my God, it was." They did not like. Some of them have performed Super Bowls before with different artists that have gone out there, and they were like, "We didn't like it." But when I watched it, maybe like 30 minutes later, I got somewhere, I watched it, and I sent them back a message like, y'all, that wasn't for our entertainment. That was a moment. Like, he was trying to make a statement, and everybody was like, oh, and then people started posting this meant this, and they were like, oh my God, we missed it. Because I'm a Pisces. We think very deeply. And a lot of people miss it. A lot of us missed it. A lot of us missed that message.
Right.
We're just like, we want you to be standing fine from the ceiling and skating and all that kind of stuff.
So I just had another epiphany, and you're watching the Two Live Stews Experience. Whenever I look, by the way, whenever I look up like this, I've had a new epiphany.
I was like, what is flying in Doug's space?
You remember when we talked about when Jamie Foxx's special came out?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, I understand the whole thing about him crying every 5 minutes in the special.
Right.
Because he had been through this traumatic thing where he almost died, and he made it, he survived. And my take was, I love Jamie Foxx, but I didn't come there to see him cry every 5 minutes. I came there to hear him tell jokes. I thought it was a stand-up comedy routine.
Right.
I wonder if people are mad and didn't like Kendrick's performance because they didn't come there to get this message. They didn't come there for him to be so deep, in which he felt like he was going to use this platform to talk about these grave injustices and how we built America. I understand 100%. But don't you think a lot of people, the Super Bowl is like a festive, joyous thing? It's almost like a holiday.
Yep. But he pulled a Colin Kaepernick. I'm going to use my platform, this opportunity. Y'all might not ever call me back again. I might not ever had as many eyes on me again. I might not ever. I think sometimes that's what happens with us as a people, as we fight. Like, if we didn't take the Montgomery bus boycott to where we took it, they wouldn't have had the right to sit where they wanted to sit on the bus, even though we now still choose to back. So I think it was one of those, I'm going to take this moment and I'm going to do what I got to do, because I probably won't ever get in here. Because I promise you, next year's Super Bowl is country from now to 2030. We're going to be clogging and square dancing and all of that.
They should have never gave you ninjas money.
They should have never.
I don't know who said that, but yeah. Once they go back and look at that film and they decipher what this, but here's the thing about that. I just had another epiphany.
It's up there.
They didn't go through practice. They didn't have practice.
Yeah, you have a Super Bowl practice for that, but Jay-Z is over it. And I was telling him in the thread, I said, Jay-Z is practicing he got his, locks now. He's made his money, and he's going to say what he always wanted to say.
What's the word called when you practice for a play? Or a rehearsal. That's the word.
They have rehearsals.
They didn't have rehearsals. So you mean to tell me
they couldn't understand what he was saying either? They don't know. They just heard, they're not like that.
Wait a minute. That's what I'm saying. Do you not think one executive that was watching this rehearsal, you don't think one of them at some point in time says, wait a minute?
I think what are they doing?
Hold on. Hey, John, I'm not sure about this, but
I
believe that this ninja is going to make some type of political statement at his Super Bowl performance. I'm not sure. I'm getting more intel.
There's nothing we can do about it now, though, because it's tomorrow. Okay, thank you, bye.
You think so? You think that's how it went down?
I mean, they're like, we got to deal with, and I think too, the NFL is also, perhaps, I can't prove it, but remember they had that whole they just dogged Colin Kaepernick out, and any of the two that sued, it was his name, Eric, I can't think of his name, that they ended up suing the NFL because they were receiving backlash from kneeling. And then the NFL, walked it back. We apologized. Roger Goodell was just like, we see it now. They were putting Black Lives Matter in the end zone. They were doing all these things. Maybe this is like their, hey, we're gonna do this. We just want y'all to feel better for a minute. Because all of y'all players look like, if y'all all decide to leave, we're not gonna have no games on Sundays.
That's true.
Nobody want to go see that. So we got to give y'all something. But I promise you, from now on, we are going to be square dancing. They're going to be very sure.
Okay. Yeah, very, very. I agree with you 100%. They ain't never gonna. And remember, Jay-Z is over some type of production, or you're right. He's over the halftime show.
Yep.
You think they pulled him in the office? I know how these folks work.
Yeah, you know.
Somebody pulled him in the office and said, "Hey, have a seat. Have a seat."
Yeah, tell us.
Hey, did you know that was going to happen like that this past weekend?
Jay-Z, and also Jay-Z, you got to be very careful because they were coming for the people wanted Jay-Z pulled from that position because of the accusations against him, and Roger Goodell stood by him. He was like, "Nope, we're not doing anything." So Jay-Z better be very, very careful because these folks, they'll turn on you, honey. They'll turn on you.
Hey, all right. So, and I want you to stick around. We're not going to do the top 5 today because we don't want to step on Ryan's toes. He's not here to talk about the results, which y'all know the results. We did the top 5.
I still appreciated his list because it had Prince at number 1. I'm just saying, how do you make it rain on Purple Rain? That's all
I agree.
I'm saying.
I had Prince at number 2. Now let the world know you're a Prince fan like that.
I love him.
Yeah.
I'm still in mourning. 2016.
So we're not going to do that. But do we have the memes, the last 48 ready, Nadi? Are we doing that here? Or are we doing that next segment here? Okay. So last 48 are the biggest memes in the Two Live Stews Facebook chat group over the last 48 hours. The Two Live Stews Facebook chat group has like 38,000 people in it. I think Facebook has cut us off. They won't let us go really past 40,000. And so it toggles between 38,000 and 40,000. But it's the most interesting memes in the last 48 hours in the Two Live Stews. Pull that first one back up, Nadi. All of today's memes have a Philadelphia Eagles theme.
Uh-oh.
All right. And we cut off who posted this. We posted who we cut off who posted this. But in the post it says, I was recently reminded the Philadelphia Eagles are Black history. I had forgot that Vince Young played for the Eagles for a minute and Rodney Peete played for the Eagles a minute.
Right.
We actually talked about this on Monday about it just, occurred to us that Philadelphia had been, blackity, black at the quarterback position really for the last 40 years.
Yep.
Yeah, that's because y'all don't listen to me. I talked about this earlier in the year when y'all asked me who are my football teams that I support. And I support Philadelphia Eagles because they done had the most black quarterbacks out of all the franchises. And I also support the Pittsburgh Steelers because of Mike Tomlin and his tenure as coach and a lot of things that the Rooney's have tried to do to ensure that black head coaches get an opportunity in the NFL. So those are the two franchises I support.
You know what? I did forget the part about your the reason being is because of the black quarterbacks. I do remember you were an Eagles fan, but yeah, that's a slap in the face. Randall Cunningham ain't played in 30 years. Maybe not 30, Randall Cunningham and Nadi confirmed when's the last time Cunningham played. For the last 40 years, there's been a black quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Because McNabb played forever, Cunningham played forever. And then you come with Vic, and then now you got Jalen Hurts. Carson Wentz had a couple of years in between McNabb and no, it wasn't McNabb. Carson Wentz had a couple of years in between Vic, because Vic in effect took Donovan McNabb's spot. Mm-hmm. So he had a couple of years in between Vic and Jalen Hurts now. But other than that,
right. Nick Foles took over for Michael Vick after he pulled his hamstring. So he was a quarterback temporarily. Randall Cunningham last year in Philly was 1995. But he retired in 2001 with the Baltimore Ravens.
So last year in 95, and Vic took over for Cunningham, right? No,
Vic took over for Donovan McNabb.
McNabb took over for Cunningham, right? So 95. 2005, 2015, 30 years. I said 40 years, but 30 years of black quarterbacks in Philadelphia. If they fans weren't so obnoxious,
they are.
If they weren't so obnoxious,
Eagles.
I might make Philadelphia my backup team that I root for. If I didn't have such a bad experience with those people up there.
They tried to kill y'all.
Oh, it was so much worse than what I can tell you. Next one, Nadi. Speaking of Philadelphia, once again, the Philadelphia theme, players to win the Heisman Trophy, National Championship, and Super Bowl. And they got Devontae Smith in the front. This is a short list. Tony Dorsett for Pittsburgh won a National Championship when Dorsett played for them. I didn't know that. Marcus Allen at USC, Reggie Bush at USC, and Charles Woodson at Michigan. Is now part of an elite company. I didn't remember. Well, you know what? I was super young when Dorsett played for
he was
Pittsburgh. Who, Dorsett?
Mm-hmm.
We had Dorsett in studio. Great guy. Really dealing with
CTE.
You can Google it. Yeah, really dealing with CTE real bad. I
can imagine.
Yeah.
They took them hits back then. It wasn't enough padding to do nothing for you, but be on your body.
Absolutely. Next meme, Nadi. You're watching the Two Live Stews experience. Now, Terrell Owens, he doesn't play for the Eagles right now, but he did play for the Eagles. Terrell Owens thinks NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell called off the three-peat due to high risk of lost viewerships. The people have the power. Terrell Owens. So before the Super Bowl, there was this whole conspiracy theory that, the league wants Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to win another Super Bowl, this three-peat thing. And everybody was talking about all of these blown calls in the playoffs that refs had missed to the benefit of the Kansas City Chiefs.
And that Bills game.
Right. Terrell Owens is saying that whole thing to give another championship to the Kansas City Chiefs was called off because of public outrage, seemingly like calls given to the Kansas City Chiefs and against their opponents. Conspiracy theories.
I can't imagine, but I can. Me, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I could see it, but I can't understand why they would decide it and then take it back, because they would have.
Right. Like, if you're conspiring for the Chiefs to win, you don't care about what people say.
No.
I don't think I'm with T.O. on this one.
And they were hearing it before the Chiefs won, because everybody was upset about the Bills-Chiefs game and how close that was, and some calls that happened, that could have changed the ending of that game or the way that game turned out. So I don't know. I just know Jalen, they went out there. I don't know what happened to the Chiefs, but people have been saying all along the Chiefs team wasn't as strong as y'all think they were. They couldn't mount up to that defense for the defense of the Eagles, and right. Which is why I don't understand why they don't give Jalen his credit, because he kept saying it's a team effort. Everybody's a team effort. How I'm going to win a game by myself? That makes no sense. It's 20 people out there.
Not to bring up old history, but I called this, and Ryan, he thought that the Chiefs were going to win again. That's a long story. This is I thought this was cool. Cooper DeJean, when he gets back to Philly, he do kind of look like this guy. What movie was this?
It wasn't.
Was this
Hustle and Flow? That looks like the guy from Hustle and Flow.
Was that Hustle and Flow, or was that not Black Dynamite?
Oh, you talking about Super
Napoleon Dynamite?
Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know.
So it was either Hustle and Flow or Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know why I'm thinking Napoleon Dynamite. Shouts out to Carrie Porters once again for the $20 donation. Thank you, Corey. I forgot to mention that. If you want to donate to the show, you can do it anytime. Help us keep the lights on around here, literally and figuratively. Look down at the bottom of the chat. If you're watching the live show, to the right, the bottom of the chat to the right, you'll see a $sign. Click on that, and you can donate $5, $10, $5,000, whatever, whatever you feel in your heart. $50,000. I think you can do it there too. And if you're watching the replay to the show, scroll down to the bottom of the chat to the right. You should see a heart symbol. Click on that, and then you'll be able to donate as well. All right, when we get back from the break, Ollie's going to be back with me. We're going to start getting into this chat. Do we have any other business to get to?
And Doug, they said that movie was Road Trip.
Road Trip. So I was totally wrong.
Thanks, FM.
Thank you, FM. So when we get back from the break,
Jashani.
840. Yeah. We're going to read chat. All right. You ready, Arlie? You ready to read some chat?
I'm ready.
Tree is on a world tour. I think she's in Zimbabwe.
With Muhammad, her man, going each and every place with a mic in her hand.
Right, yeah. So we're going to read all y'all chat, all of the real great chat messages when we get back. Don't go away. 2 Live Stews. Yeah! Oh. All right, welcome back to the show. Shouts out to
I was dancing.
Lil Jon, the Eastside Boys.
I was back here getting.
I love. There's no more. What's more Atlanta than Lil Jon, the Eastside Boys?
Amen. And
we could do a top 5 on that.
We could.
What's more Atlanta than, and give your top 5. This is empirically Atlanta.
Lemon pepper wings. Oh my goodness.
Lemon pepper wings is Atlanta. Wet. Lil Jon, the Eastside Boys is Atlanta. Yeah, that would be a great topic.
It's gonna be interesting to find 5. Like you know you're in Atlanta when, or what's that thing? Say you're in Atlanta without, let people know you're in Atlanta without saying you're in Atlanta. Like you can, I got lemon pepper wings and such. Like we could do that. Yes, right. Indeed.
Traffic.
I'm stuck on the highway.
Which
Shouted.
Shouted.
And then more. That's
word
number
shout.
one. You know, I
Hey,
made
wait,
that word up too.
did the youngins
said
still
that
use the
before
term
you
shawty?
did.
They still use the term shawty like that?
I don't
Everybody use the term shouted. I still
Not-
say shouted. I think the youngest say shouted.
You from Decatur, you're never gonna stop using the term shawty.
Right. I made the word up in 1985.
You keep saying
Nobody was saying shouted before 1985. Go
I
look
thought-
it up.
I thought we discovered that was not true.
No, that is true. That is never. That was another word that we discovered that was not true. But shouted, nobody was using shouted before 1985. I guarantee you go look it up.
So let's make sure to clarify this. You're saying that your neighborhood came up with the shawty.
No,
you're not saying
I
you
came up.
specifically.
I specifically came up with shouted by accident.
Wait a minute.
This is what I deal with on the No Show. This is what I deal with on the No Show.
Tell us the story. Tell us the background on this.
All right, I was about 4 or 5 years old. My mama used to send us to the next door neighbor house to watch us while she went to work. And they had this little bitty baby, and he was short, but you know, they used to call him Shorty. Shorty was his name. I had this country twang, so I wouldn't say Shorty. I used to call him Shouty. So Shouty, they thought it was funny.
Who is they? Who is they?
The kids that were also in the
other kids getting watched by this lady.
Right. Okay. And some were older than me.
Me and Ryan had that same situation. A lady used to watch us. Old lady used to watch us.
Because before then you used to call a short person Shorty, but your friends and stuff you would call Buddy. Hey Buddy, how you doing, Buddy? Buddy was the word. Shorty was only for short people, but eventually because Shorty kind of blew up because
for the record, you're saying you were in the room at the least. On the most, you actually came up with the word.
At the least, I was in the room. At the most, my country twang of saying shorty, but I wouldn't say shorty, I would say shouty. Shouty became prevalent in Atlanta. And before 1985, nobody was saying shouty in Atlanta.
Get it, shouty. Welcome to my world. This me and that. We had that whole. I couldn't even argue anymore. I say I can't prove that you didn't say it first, but how do you prove that you did? He the only person with a country twang.
I'm so baffled right now because he really is sincere. I don't think he's lying.
When I met Natty, okay, so we're gonna start off with Sydney Action Jackson, but them same ninjas will spend 20 minutes trying to tell us why folks like A Bear and Mayfield are better. Is it Herbert or A Bear?
A Bear. Yeah.
There we go. Mayfield are better. Sad excuse for ninjas. And that's in reference to the whole Jalen Hurts not being.
Yeah. If you missed the top of the show, Greg Jennings just went off. Like another thing about that is too soon. You see what I'm saying? The game was played 3 days ago. And this ninja is on worldwide TV shooting this man down. It's too soon. If you still don't believe in him and his exploits and his greatness up until this point of a 5-year career, you need to wait another week or so to like ease that in the conversation. This man went off on Jalen Hurts 2 days after the Super Bowl.
And it wasn't like I lost the Super Bowl. I won the Super Bowl. How did that happen?
Where they do that at in our community? Right. Where they do that at in our community? Go ahead, next one.
That is very true. Ryan Stewart. Why doesn't Dougie look in the camera? Y'all keep voting for his ASS. Damn it. So earlier you were all everywhere, and I don't know if you ever looked at the camera. He said you ain't looking in the camera, so why we keep voting for you?
I'm gonna shoot you straight. I be looking in the air sometimes, looking for the word I'm trying to find, and like I'll see it. So I do that. But it's Dougie.
It's Dougie. Do the Dougie. You can tell people you said teach me how to Dougie. Yeah, no, you didn't. Okay, never mind. All right, Carrie Porter, shout out to you again for your love. And we've already read that chat, but yes, I responded though, Doug. That's what got him in trouble is the whiskey. He don't need no more whiskey. That's what got his throat hurting. He needs some water.
I do need to get me a hot toddy though.
You need a little and go lay down.
I know y'all do hot toddies in Mississippi.
Oh my goodness, and they do it with real moonshine.
Right. Right.
My great grandmother, just a little thing. She used to make this stuff called honey and alum. It was like a syrup, and no matter what you had, from the head to your feet, whatever it was gonna fix it. It had some real kind of strong liquor in it, honey, alum powder. We got to look up what that is, and crushed peppermint. And then you take a teaspoon, and your life was better.
Right.
It was
Exactly.
that liquor in there made you go to sleep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Loose neck sigh. I will give it 6 months before Trump tries to get rid of Elon Musk. He will hear whispers about who's really in charge, and that ego can't stand it.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, probably.
Y'all heard the little boy. He said, "You not the president."
Well, but you know what? One thing about Trump, though, didn't Trump and Elon Musk, did Elon give his campaign 20 million or 20 billion?
Oh,
it wasn't
was
billion.
ridiculous.
It wasn't billion.
It was like a bunch he gave like 20 million a day. If you go, it was some crazy number every day. I'm sure Nadi's going to tell us what that was every day it was like a period of time from that point to the end of the campaign for people to go out and vote. He was going to pay folks, and he pumped in that amount of money every day into the campaign.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I don't know. Trump might be indebted to the guy.
He
so
is.
He may not get rid of him. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's going to hurt him because, he likes the spotlight. And we keep giving it to him. Derek Rivers. Good morning, Derek. Dr. J don't count since they are talking about the NBA only. He scored in ABA and NBA over 30,000. So that was where you and Nadi, I'm sure he's going to pop in. That might be where the discrepancy in the 8 and 9 was coming from. Thank you, Derek Rivers.
Hold on. We're going to wait for Nadi to pop in.
I guess you want me to pop in. So you not giving Dr. J credit for his ABA points? Because you didn't specify strictly NBA. You said basketball, professional basketball scoring. Dr. J got over 30,000 points.
No, I didn't. I said the NBA. Nadi, hold on. Nadi, listen to me, Nadi. Listen to me.
Yep.
I respect you. You announced on our show, on our network, that you were going to run for president. I told you had my vote.
Yes.
You need to come clean and say you were wrong on this one. One of your main purposes on this show is to correct us.
I'm wrong.
Okay, so
I'm wrong.
Okay, Nadi. All right.
If we don't count ABA scoring, then Kevin Durant is the 8th player to score 30,000. But I personally count
Nadi.
Dr.
But
J,
the point is deeper than that. I showed you. I was reading it off of ESPN.
Yeah,
so why did you think ESPN had it wrong? I'm trying to understand.
I'm saying, Doug, you didn't specify that you were strictly talking.
I read you a sentence from the story.
All right, read the sentence that you read.
Kevin Durant became the 8th player in NBA history to score 20,000 points.
Dr. J didn't play in the NBA.
30,000.
But
you questioning ESPN.
You did not specify strictly NBA scoring.
But I think because it said NBA, maybe that's why they're not counting the ABA. It wasn't even. You're on technicality. If you put a comma in something, it makes the whole meaning different. That's a technicality now. But it did say NBA, and you were not going to count the ABA points in the NBA. But if you say overall basketball scoring, then yes, Dr. J gets number 9 on that list.
Yeah, come on, man.
Right. But I mean, I'll give you. I will say this: if your thinking is that you're not counting Dr. J's ABA points, then you are correct.
Nobody counts ABA points and talking about NBA records. Why would you even think that? Why would you think you count Dr. J's ABA numbers?
Why don't they count the ABA numbers? That's just
hold on, Nadi.
Numbers.
Hold on, Nadi. Maybe they should. That's a perfect example.
You
just said it. They should count Negro League numbers in baseball.
They do, Doug. That's how I got the information that I got, because they do count the ABA numbers. Okay. Just like Major League Baseball counts the Negro League numbers.
Okay. So you're saying
you're professional.
Hold on. Your beef is with the NBA then, not me.
No, I never had any beef with you.
Yeah, but you said I was lying. I was wrong. You didn't say I was lying. You said I was wrong.
Right.
I read from you from a story from the most.
I told you then. I said ESPN got it wrong. That's what I told you. They didn't write it right.
Okay.
It's a technical, like Arlie says, she's the lawyer. It's a technicality. So I will go back and say, Doug, you were not wrong.
But I definitely wasn't right.
No, I mean, you were right if you were coming from the aspect that you're not counting the ABA points.
Okay, appreciate it, Nadi.
Yay. Okay. Yeah, just hope.
Like, I'm not gonna stay on this,
But you are though.
But I've been doing this a long time.
You have.
This is the
Originators.
This is the 24th year doing this and getting paid to some degree. Sometimes very little, sometimes a whole lot. Okay.
It's for the love.
One thing I have done and have learned in this position, you have to be correct with factual information because people will check you on it. And so very early, we got stuff wrong. And a lot of times it may have been someone's fault or this, that, and the other. But I've been pretty accurate in having receipts. Like I'm just not, if I'm not sure about something, I'll say something like, I'll put like a phrase in front of it, something like, or about, or this, that, or the other, if I'm not being factual. But when I try to be factual as possible. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to have receipts. I'm going to be factual is all I'm saying. Now, I'm not perfect.
Nope.
Doing this and talking so much, you talk so much, just at some point, you're going to get something wrong. And that's why we got Naughty. We did steal that whole idea of a stat boy. I think they used to call it Stat Boy on one of the ESPN shows. We don't call Naughty Stat Boy, but we bring him on and make sure that our stats and all our information is correct. He can jump in and correct us. But we try to be accurate on that type of stuff, man. Go ahead.
Yes, we're excited. September 14, 2014. Remember that day the Doug Stewart Show kicked off on Spreaker.
Yes. Shouts out to the Jungle Brother. Jungle Brother had a show on Spreaker. We had a ton of great shows on the Stewart Media. And so the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network's been around since 2014. Now, in between then and
the party.
Yeah. So SME started in 2014. We probably went 3 years. Yeah. And then I says, well, y'all not giving enough donations. I got to pay some bills. I'm spending all my retirement money. I got to go back to work. So it laid dormant for, up until 2017, 18 to when we came back last year, which we just had our anniversary on Monday tree recognized as well. So it's been a year back, me and Ryan back together.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. We get some claps. Night in the back. Night said he ain't pushing.
Y'all hoarding the good sound effects. I'm finding out. Y'all hoarding the good sound effects.
I'm joining the Know It All show. Come join the Know show. Loose neck, old and black side. Him and these names, Lord. Boosie stunt double, like the episode of the Jeffersons when George tried to hire a Billy D. Williams lookalike. That's what's gonna happen at this BMF legacy party.
Right.
That can't be Boosie. Not way down there on
not way on the bottom of the bill like that.
Happening. Till Dog 12, the BMF era in ATL was like the Griselda Cocaine Cowboys era in Miami. Wow, AS.
Yeah, man. So that was when I was still hanging out. Not a lot, but I was still hanging out during that era. And I remember there was almost like this thing where people gave reports wherever BMF were at that point. You did not want to go there because chances are something was going to pop off. Somebody was going to get hit over the head with a bottle. Somebody was going to get shot. A fight was going to break out. So you tried not to hang out because they used to hang in like a crew of like 30
or more.
And at the end of the night, most nights it ended in a catastrophe. Let's just put it like that.
Open a club back up one night. It was closed and they were like, nah. And they went in there and instead, you know how you bring out bottles of like it's bottle service. It might be one little bottle. They were coming out with the big old tubs of Moet. Just
yes.
I was like, everybody walking around with their own bottle and turn. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I've been in there. I've been in Magic City where they came in deep. And back to the point I was making is it used to be this thing. I remember vividly getting a text from somebody and they're like, BMF up in here tonight. You don't want to come here.
And see, I was the opposite. I was rolling in there.
You like the Roughnecks. You like MC Light.
No, gotta get a Roughneck. No, I had just gotten divorced and I was in them. You was back
in the streets.
Oh Jesus! The Lord protects babies and fools. That's all I can say. Tony Dorsett, shout out to you this morning because we as Black people have our priorities backwards. He's talking about us celebrating Big Meech and doing this whole big Legends event.
Yeah.
That ninja calling her a comedian is using the word loosely. Who are we calling a comedian?
Just hilarious.
Oh, just hilarious. Yes. Yeah.
You know what? I really haven't seen a bunch of her stand-up routine. I haven't seen her on stage, but I'm talking about the little skits. I think she's funny on the little skits.
She's a mean girl to me. I think she was a mean girl. Like, I can't remember what I saw her do, and maybe her having this new baby will soften her. But I always felt like she was a mean girl. But I'm also sensitive, so let's go there.
And she's from Baltimore. And
Baltimore.
She got that little Baltimore accent.
Yeah, all that Baltimore.
Yeah.
Adrienne Williams, good morning. My great aunt was driving in her late 90s. My uncles would hide the keys, but she had multiple copies of keys around the house. This was back when you could get copies made for a couple of dollars, right? Before now they $300 to get a copy.
So this is a consistent theme in the Black community. My mother had to take my grandmother's keys too.
Really?
And my grandmother for days kept saying she couldn't find her keys. She couldn't find her keys. Everybody in the family know that my mother took the keys. And then at some point, my mother told her, like, listen, Mama, I got the keys, but you can't drive no more. And she went off. Like, my grandmother went off the fact that we took the keys from the car from her. She got places to go.
Right.
But she had
I'm the mama around here. I don't know who y'all think y'all are.
Right.
Yeah. It
almost 90 years old. Yep.
Yep. They do it. But mine was 96, still rolling, baby. Bro. I have video. I took a video, like, y'all don't believe this. I got one of her when she was 90 and she just rolling. That's before they said she had to stay on the same side of the street.
Wow.
Till Dog 12, that was just a natural transition. God said her work was done, but made sure you two had one last conversation. You are right about that. We set up and she covered me up. It was amazing. I mean, y'all are gonna have me crying in here. Corey Robinson, good morning. If I hear another symbolism about Kendrick Lamar, I mean, really, what next? His shoelaces meant something too. Gee. They did. They had the bell bottoms meant something. The jacket they talked about, it meant something. The little bitty A that all you could see when he first broke out.
You're right. I saw the bell bottoms thing. I don't think there was no symbolism in him wearing bell bottoms.
They said it was because bell bottoms were something in the Navy. They used to wear them to say you about to put. That was a way for them. They were made for Navy men to go to work, and that they were saying he's about to go to work. I guess.
Do you think that's just some ninja concocted?
Just stuff,
conspiracy theory, or do you think that he was just wearing some bell-bottom jeans?
I mean, I can't imagine that he as a man it probably was a comfort reason. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they have made him he's a deep thinker, which he is, because if you could decipher his rap, it's some good little, double entendres in there and some really good messaging. But
I posted, they're doing a Little Desk series with these artists.
Oh no, like that Tiny Desk?
Tiny Desk, right.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing these Tiny Desk little concerts with all these legends. And now I saw one with Big Daddy Kane on the porch. Did you see that? So I posted in 2 Live Stews, Big Daddy Kane on the porch. They had a band, a drummer, and he had a mic and everything. And they had a little audience in this front yard, whose ever porch this was.
Right.
And Big Daddy Kane went off on I think it was No Half Stepping.
Oh,
Big Daddy Kane is an MC. He's a real MC.
We ain't write that down. We just coming off the dome, just straight off the dome.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Doop.
Oh my gosh. It's after 9 o'clock. So we're gonna read the rest of these 12, and then I gotta get the hell out of here.
Craig, Uncle Mike Pryor. Just because you moving fast don't mean you being productive. That's in reference to Nadi saying that Trump was getting a bunch of stuff done. He was saying just because he's moving fast don't mean doing something, which is very true. He just causing muck. It's a movie. I cannot think of the name of it, but that's what the lawyer said. My job is to go in and create muck in this courtroom so that we can get free. Anyway.
Havoc.
Just
right.
toss it in the air. Tornado this thing. Jashani. It just looks like he getting a lot done because he stay in the media. True.
He stay on the camera. Yeah.
Loose neck old black side. Imagine if Doug won top 5 and had Caitlin Clark come on the show to give Ryan the news that he lost.
He'd have a heart attack.
He'd be
if Ryan's ever in the same room with Caitlin Clark, he's gonna pass out. He's gonna faint.
Yes, quickly. Rail Scott. Dak said, "We coming," and all the laughing emojis. That was in reference to the Dak comments earlier. What he said. FM Doug, would you put KD on Mount Rushmore?
Oh hell no. As far as scoring, yeah. If we're talking about pure scorers, I'd have KD on the Mount Rushmore. I'd have him. I mentioned Bernard King earlier. Pure scorer. Who else do I think about when I think of pure scorer? Give me a second. I'll come up with a couple more names.
Jordan, not a pure. No, just that's all they do is pure scoring.
It's hard to even give a different definition of a pure scorer and somebody like Michael Jordan. I think maybe Jordan might be.
He just all around great. He does it all.
Tracy McGrady was a scorer, a great scorer. I don't know. I had to think about that.
You think about that for a minute. Ryan Stewart. Good morning, Ryan Stewart. The NFL has profit sharing. College sports is attempting to set that up. Our Stu.
Yeah.
When we were discussing the oh, look at that. We need to read the chat. Ryan Stewart gave us $9.99. Shout out to you, Ryan Stewart. Anything in particular you want to talk about this morning?
Yeah.
I want to talk about the fact that we ain't gonna talk about you lost. You didn't lose. Oh, he said he did have a comment. Naughty on that sauce. Please vote for me, folks. I'm the people's champ. Rates.
Well, first of all, the voting is stopped. The voting is over. The voting was over yesterday at 5 p.m. as it is every top 5 voting period. So we'll wait until Monday to announce the results, and I guess we'll have a new top 5 then as well.
Yes.
But it didn't go too well for your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I voted for you, Ryan.
And he donated. That's the least you can do. You're not here today.
Yes, that's right. Making us do all this work. Shout out to you, Ryan Stewart, wherever you are on your daddy duty, husband duty, family duty. Bless your little heart, honey. That's what you get for having kids when you're old. Anyway, loose next side. Since Doug is doing the show by himself today, do we get the Dougie deals?
So that's the Doug Stewart Show stuff. I had a website. What do they call it? They call it some type of affiliate marketing. I had an affiliate web marketing website and a URL, Dougie'sDeals.com, and it was to a pay site where you buy all these different products or whatnot. And it was called Dougie's Deals. Thank you, man. Dougie's Deals.
Shout out.
And listen, early at some point, I think it's going to be Thursday next week. I know we keep pushing this back, but we're going to get into details and tell you all about these
trips,
once in a lifetime bucket list sports trips that we're going to be doing and sponsoring on the 2 Live Stews. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Great stuff popping with that. So stay tuned. We had to push back a little bit because of things, the inner workings of it, of the whole thing. So, but stay tuned. We got big things popping we're going to talk about next week.
Yep. Shout out to Courtney Williams. Good morning. That's exactly why they were upset, Doug. I don't know who was upset.
She talking about people at the Kendrick Lamar concert?
Maybe so. Maybe
I'm not
so.
Sure.
Naughty cooked waffles at his house. Now we have Waffle House. Loose Nick, I'm still waiting on your. I am waiting on your stand-up. You is ignorant.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, man. To make the claim that you are the first person to utter the term "shawty" is a big claim. It's a big claim.
Naughty got cojones, baby. He gonna, because it was something else he said, and somebody corrected it on the no show. Because I kept saying, "Naughty, that's not even possible." And it was like, "No, that happened in '89." Naughty was like, "Oh, okay, well maybe I didn't do it." But he was defiant and he stood in it. So he said started, baby. That's all.
That's a big claim. It took me a couple of years to realize that they used the term shawty in Atlanta like they used to use the term Smurf on the Smurfs.
Yes.
You remember you remember Smurfs was a verb, an adjective, a noun, it was everything.
Smurfalicious.
And right in Atlanta, the term shawty is a verb, an adjective, a pronoun. It's everything.
Everything. It's all that.
So the fact that we have somebody that's part of our team that actually came up with that term, that's a big thing that we can promote.
Nothing but originators around here. Nothing but y'all started that. Naughty started. I mean, it's probably some other stuff that he started too. It's amazing. Now FM is replying to Deanna, and she said this yesterday on our show. She was saying that you don't have to be that deep sometimes in reference to Kendrick Lamar to get a point across. Like it was missed on a lot of people, and FM was responding saying he had to do symbolism because the show has to be vetted first. So they weren't. It was supposed to be deeper than let me just come in your face and whap in the mouth. He wanted you to have to think because he wouldn't have been able to just be able to say that.
Okay.
Shout out to Loose Neck Side again with the waffles, Lord, and the $9.99. Woo, Loose Neck, thank you. Jungle Brother, executives knew about it. They want us ninjas talking about the Super Bowl instead of all these political cop rollbacks. So that's possible too. Sydney Axon Jackson, the ABA numbers are included in the NBA stats. So technically, Nadi was right. The stats were merged back in 1976. So ESPN was wrong.
ESPN was wrong. Okay. That's a big statement too.
Yeah.
Somebody will catch them. To say the worldwide leader was wrong. I mean, they weren't wrong. Okay. What he's saying and what Nadi's saying is right. I read the statement. They said NBA. Yeah. That's a different argument.
It is.
We're not gonna get back into that.
We're not gonna go back there. We're just not gonna go there.
Hey, Nadi, run the music, baby. Let's get out of here, man. Hey, Arlie, thank you so much for joining me today. Really kind of filling the role for two people. Just conversating partner as Ryan would be, and then you have the entertainment report as you would be. Then you did, read some chat messages as Tree would do. So you helped us out today.
One of my line names was Sybil.
Okay, why was that?
Remember, there was a lady named Sybil.
Okay, you shouldn't have told me that. I'm gonna start calling your ass Sybil from now on.
Well, if you don't want all those personalities to show up now, wait.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you. All right, we got to get out of here. I actually 10 minutes behind time. Don't forget, and we'll mention it again Monday. We'll be back Monday morning. This coming Monday morning, we'll be back at 7 a.m. Eastern time, the 16th, February 16th, 2025. But if you're watching the replay, every Monday and Thursday at 7 a.m. Eastern time, live right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. 2, livestewsyoutube.com, livestewsyoutube.com. You can do us a big favor by donating a couple of dollars here and there. Once again, at the bottom of the chat to the right, it'll either be a $sign or it'll be a heart. You click on that, you can donate anything that you want. We appreciate it. But how you can help us even more is to share the show. All right, subscribe, but share. Hit the share button and share it to your network, to your community, and let them know that the Two Live Stews are back and doing it real big. All right. Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Lunch and Learn number 2. The what did I call the term? And I'm losing not the Rockefeller. Oh, $1 Million Baby. The $1 Million Baby concept. Okay. I'm gonna show you Monday, and most people don't know this. They don't understand the depth of life insurance. I'm going to show you how a life insurance policy can change the financial trajectory of your family forever, in perpetuity. That's one of our favorite words around here. In perpetuity, okay? Forever. So Monday at 12 noon right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. 2, same place, 2livestewsyoutube.com, 2livestewsyoutube.com. Y'all have a great weekend. Shouts out to the team. See y'all Monday at 7 a.m. Peace.